Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So today we have some XRP news, we have Solana news, Celo news, Bitcoin news, a whole lot of it. We have some real estate news and we have some US Treasury news. But we're going to begin right here with the XRP news. This article is titled, let's scroll to the top. This article is titled XRP Explosion to $1.50 price. Crazily in view. I don't know why they phrase it that way. Crazily in view as Ripple's XRP payment giant status lingers. All right. Also, I want to ask before we start the article, if you could please click that like button down below. I would greatly appreciate that. You know I do. And also, don't forget, it's either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I will be going live again in the members only section. So join the members only section before that time. Also, don't forget, if you're going to come to the live, hey, maybe if you have some topics, that's the time to bring them. You have some thoughts. It could be about crypto. It could not be about crypto. I'm open to a lot of different things. Just keep it clean. All right, keep it clean. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to do my best to make it a good time. It's going to go smooth. All right. So anyway, this article begins right here. The XRP Ledger has recently captured significant attention due to huge uptick in payment transactions. Also, shout out to Nick Morales. Big shout out to Nick. Appreciate you greatly. The State of XRP Ledger Q1 2024 report by Masari on May 28th reveals that XRPL experienced an astounding 350% increase in quarter-over-quarter, averaging 2 million transactions daily. This surge, primarily driven by inscriptions, started in late Q4 2023 and continued into Q1 2024 before tapering off towards the quarter's end. The shift in transaction dynamics saw payments becoming the most common transaction type on the XRPL, overtaking offer creates, which historically held this position. According to the report, total transactions on the XRPL increased by an impressive 113% quarter over quarter, averaging 2.8 million per day. This uptick in transactions was mirrored by a substantial increase in network activity, with active addresses and transactions rising by 37% and 113% QOQ, respectively. All right, so let me scroll down. I'm going to get to that $1.50. Where's that coming from? All right, here we go. All right, here we go. I know people are going to love this. X user eGrag. Oh, man, I know that's every time it stokes the emotions. All right. Shout out to eGrag. I like eGrag. I do. X user eGrag crypto. And I've seen all your comments, OK, about eGrag. X user eGrag crypto shared a price chart showing XRP's recent performance aligning with the fib 0.702 to 0.786 levels. The analyst targets a price range of $1.20 to $1.50. I don't know why I said $1. I meant $1. Highlighting 70 cents to 75 cents as a critical breakout point. eGrag crypto also noted XRP's strength along the Atlas line, quote unquote, trend line where prices have historically rebounded. All right. So now I want to move on here. Let's get these price predictions out of the way. I like reading them. I just enjoy them. I do. We cover a lot of different news. Sometimes we have, partnership news. Sometimes we have the court case news. Sometimes we got price prediction. We mix it up a little bit, keep it interesting. In life, I have to keep things interesting in life and exciting. And I do enjoy a bit of a good adrenaline rush also. So now, this next article is titled Market Expert. Okay. Says XRP price reaching $1,000. When they say expert, I'm just like, who are they talking about? XRP's price reaching $1,000 is inevitable. Now, I find this interesting because there's been a lot of people coming out recently talking about this $1,000 price again. Let's read and find out what they have to say. It says Barrick's, is it Barrick or Barry C? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to say Barry C. Explained in an X post why he believes XRP will eventually reach $1,000. Keep in mind, folks, this is someone's opinion. You have to make up your own mind how you feel about things. This is not conditioning. I'm simply reading an article, not financial advice. OK. All right. He mentioned that no one could have envisioned or envisaged that Bitcoin would hit $73,000. when it was still trading at $330 in 2016. He also made reference to other crypto tokens like Ethereum, Litecoin, Solana, Dogecoin, which were trading really low at some point and went on to make significant price gains. Therefore, he believes a similar pattern could play out with XRP. He noted that XRP was trading way lower than its current price level at some point when it was 0.006 cents in 2017, and no one imagined it would climb to an all-time high of $3.80. Barry C. went on to claim that those saying XRP will never move in price, quote, clearly don't understand how crypto works, unquote. Then it continues on here. It says, the crypto analyst added that the explosive, quote, explosive price action, unquote, for XRP will definitely come at some point. And what is important is to have the, quote, fortitude, unquote, to hold until that time comes. Everybody's different. Like I said, I'm of the idea of the mind state that right now, while it's harsh economic circumstances, people are going to take profit more than ever. I see very little loyalty in most people. Now, I'm a little different. I look at XRP as a long hold. I believe in what all of the companies that are building on XRPL are doing. I see a great deal of potential there, but that's just me. Some people don't see that. Some people just want a quick dollar, make a little bit of quick money, and then they're moving on. I get that. I understand that. And I think that's the bulk of the people out there. Also, I take into account the harsh economic circumstances, which once again, I believe is going to force a lot of people that would be long holders, is going to force them to take profit early on because their life literally depends on it. They have bills to pay. They have children and family to take care of. So I take that into account as well. So yeah, I see a lot of profit taking going on once prices start going up. And once Bitcoin pops off, that's the lightest catalyst in my humble opinion, the lightest. But once Bitcoin starts going off, if it's anything like it was in 2021, everything is going to go up. Like we're about to cover, for example, cover a Celo article in the next like 3 chapters. That thing goes off so easily. It's unbelievable. It reminds me of Quant at certain times but I saw Celo go up and down much more. Like that's a profit maker in my humble opinion. That's just my humble opinion. When bull runs pop off, Celo is a money maker, right? That's how it's not a long hold at that point. It's going to go up and down explosively if it does what it did before, but we shall see. That's just my humble opinion. That's my experience with it. All right. I don't speak for other people. So now let's move on here. Did we cover enough of that article? I think we did, right? I think we did. All right. Let's move on. So we have another article here, another XRP article. I hope I did. I think I covered it. I read it. XRP attorney slams SEC. They deserve to be slammed, in my humble opinion. Slam away. Calls for immediate resignation of Gensler. You can call for it all you want. People have been calling for this man's resignation. He's going to go down in a blaze of glory. I'm telling you, like, one thing you can't say about this guy, you may hate him, you may not like him, but this guy, he's going to fight you to the end, Anyway, this is prominent pro-XRP attorney John Deaton has demanded that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission chairman Gary Gensler step down in the wake of many high-profile court disputes and growing disapproval of the SEC's regulatory strategy under Gensler's direction. Deaton has been a vocal critic of the SEC strategy, particularly highlighting its actions against companies like Ripple, LBRY, and Coinbase. He contends that the SEC's relentless pursuit of Ripple executives Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson exemplifies a harmful and antagonistic I find it funny the way they phrase that. I don't know. I have the giggles today, I guess. That's hilarious. Harmful and antagonistic. It's like a comic book villain. It's a regulatory stance that could have long-lasting negative impacts on the industry. Furthermore, Deaton has participated as amicus curiae in these cases that we know. The SEC strategy for implementing and upholding securities regulations in the digital asset market is the main topic of discussion. The SEC has filed a number of enforcement proceedings to maintain its regulatory authority, which have had very mixed results. Didn't they just lose a case? It was either today or yesterday. I don't know if I read that correctly. Maybe I read it wrong, but I thought I saw something where they didn't do well in court with someone. It says call for SEC leadership change. One of the most contentious points has been the SEC's handling of the LBRY case. Deaton claims the SEC representative publicly stated their intention to cripple LBRY with legal fees. Wait a minute. Didn't they admit they had a representative actually come out and say that maybe they did a little too much? The fines were too much. So they crushed LBRY. It says, so if they were saying they were going to cripple them, they definitely did that. A revelation that has sparked widespread outrage within the crypto community. This, he argues, is indicative of a broader pattern of bad faith actions designed to stifle innovation and exert undue pressure on crypto firms. And that whole bad faith actions, he's using the verbiage that a lot of judges have used. I'm going to take it that he's done that very strategically, right? All right, so now we are going to move on here to a little bit of Solana news. Man, I love Solana. I do. Their future looks extremely bright. Just my humble opinion, of course. Why did it start me? It started the article all the way at the middle of the page. I don't know why that is. But it's titled this: Solana price prediction as new update changes network fees dynamics. Let's scroll down here. Solana validators voted in favor of Solana Improvement Document SIMD 0096, a proposal to allocate all transaction priority fees to validators for the blocks they produce instead of the previous 50-50 split between burning fees and rewarding validators. I think we read about this yesterday, but so let's skip down here and let's see if I want to see this price prediction. Here we go. Market reaction and price prediction. Although the activation of SIMD 0096 may take several months due to the current Solana mainnet or upcoming upgrade not supporting it yet, the decision has already sparked interest in Solana. At press time, Solana is trading at a beautiful $171.52. Remember where it was when we first started covering it? Oh, it's way above that now. I feel good. I'm just saying. Following the proposal's approval, Solana's price saw a modest increase with a 3% gain in 24 hours. It's not $20 anymore, is it? It's not $17. It's not $16 anymore, is it? Yeah. According to DeFi Llama, users spent $1.87 million on Solana fees in the past 24 hours. According to Codex, Solana's price is predicted to rise, 42%, to reach $237.43 by November 24th, 2024. As per the technical indicator, that's a heck of a rise. The current sentiment is bullish, while the fear and greed index is showing greed. Solana recorded a 9.81% price volatility over the last 30 days. Wait a minute, they have more. Let me just read this little tidbit here. Prominent analysts are also optimistic about Solana's future. Trader Tardigrade identified bullish trends in Solana's technical patterns, suggesting the price could soar to $1,000, fueled by the growth of SocialFi applications like SolChat. All right, there you go. So now let's move on here. We have a little bit of Celo, or some people pronounce it Celo. I've heard it pronounced that way. I don't care how it's pronounced, to be quite honest. I just want to make more money off of it. That's all I want to do. All right, so let me make that clear. I'm here for the money, all right? So anyway, not the pronunciation, but anyway. This article is titled, Celo integrates Chainlink CCIP to boost cross-chain functionality. Chainlink has been dominant lately. They're involved in so many massive projects. Once again, I've been bullish on Chainlink for a long time now. Of course, this is back when people were like, well, I like to say this. Back when people were telling me it was trash, right? It's not so trash. It was a swift deal, and they're working with a lot of other big companies. A lot of other companies integrating Chainlink CCIP. They're doing really good. Anyway, Chainlink CCIP secures Celo's cross-chain transactions with top-tier security. Ethereum Layer 2 blockchain Celo has announced today that the integration of Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol for multi-chain functionality According to the announcement, this movement brings a high level of security and reliability to Celo's ecosystem. The Celo ecosystem endorsement has been pivotal, previously leading to Celo's participation in Chainlink Scale program. This collaboration provided Celo with advanced technical support and improved access to Chainlink's offerings. Here's a quote. This is a quote. We're excited for Celo to natively integrate Chainlink CCIP as its canonical cross-chain infrastructure, unquote, said Theodoros Karakatstas. My apologies if I mispronounced the name. Head of blockchain partnerships at Chainlink Labs. Quote, secure interoperability powered by CCIP will empower Celo developers and users to take full advantage of the multi-chain landscape and accelerate the adoption of Celo and its ecosystem, unquote. I want to know what's going on with the project that was that on Celo that was working on, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. They were working on universal basic income. That's what I want to know about. And I need to start digging a little deep into that because they've been rolling out universal basic income across the United States. That's right. They started on the West Coast and they moved to the middle of America, United States. Then they were on the East Coast and now they're back again to the West Coast. They've done multiple rounds of testing now. And these are the articles where you see the titles. They're titled something akin to, oh, they're handing out millions of dollars. That's what they mean. It's universal basic income test. So, I mean, that use case on Celo could be huge in the future. Huge. But, you know, we shall see. We'll see how it works out. That's something I keep in mind right here, though, when I think about Celo. All right. So anyway, let's move on to a little bit of Bitcoin news. The big dog on the block. Yes, I can't wait for it to skyrocket. I'm drooling at the mouth like there's drool all over my desk. Now, that's a little nasty. Like, no, that's a crazy visual, right? When people say that, you know why I said that? Because I hear a lot of people say that they're salivating at the mouth, and it's just this visual of people drooling on themselves over something is gross, but it's hilarious to me at the same time. Anyway, yeah, you know, I grew up with that whole Tom and Jerry Heckle. Anybody remember Heckle and Jekyll? Am I the only one that remembers Heckle and Jekyll? Tom and Jerry, Heckle and Jekyll, the whole Looney Tunes, you know, all of that stuff. You know, they had that slapstick. They call it like slapstick comedy. So maybe that had a bit of an impact on me. This article is titled El Salvador's Bitcoin AI plans could boost GDP tenfold by 2029. This is coming from Cathie Wood. The ARK Invest CEO praised the Central American country for being an, quote, oasis, unquote, for Bitcoin and AI adoption. Let me pause and say shout out to everybody in El Salvador. I have great love for Salvadoran people. Oh, so you know how much pupusa I've eaten in my lifetime, tomal. Oh, I love El Salvador. As simple as that. So anyway, shout out to them. El Salvador, and they're good fighters too. Oh yeah, they know how to box for real. They're tough as nails out there. Yes, they are. Yeah. El Salvador could see its gross domestic product increase tenfold over the next 5 years if it stays with its Bitcoin. An artificial intelligence adoption plan under Nayib Bukele's presidency, says ARK Invest CEO Cathie Wood. Quote, President Bukele's determination to turn El Salvador into an oasis for the Bitcoin and AI communities, two of the biggest economic and technological revolutions in history, is the reason I believe that its real GDP, I was about to say DDP like Diamond Dallas Page, GDP could scale tenfold during the next 5 years, unquote, Wood said in a May 28th X post after meeting Bukele. Bitcoin's integration into capital markets, AI, and tax policies were the main topics discussed between Wood and Bukele. Wood, quote, walked us through the numbers, unquote, on how El Salvador can increase its GDP tenfold to $300 billion by 2029, said Max Kaiser, who advises Bukele on Bitcoin-related matters. All right, so big things happening out there with Bitcoin. Let's go here. We have some more Bitcoin news. So now let's find out what Peter Schiff is saying now. This article is titled, We'd All Be Rich. Peter Schiff delivers unexpected Bitcoin prediction. Says, Peter Schiff shares provocative hypothetical scenario involving U.S. companies investing entirely in Bitcoin. Says financial commentator Peter Schiff, known for his critical stance on Bitcoin, recently took to social media with a series of posts that blended sarcasm and financial speculation. Schiff suggested a hypothetical scenario where all publicly traded U.S. companies liquidate their assets, cease operations, and invest the proceeds entirely into Bitcoin. Why do you always do things like that? I really don't like ignorance. I don't have time for it at all. It says he claimed this would cause each Bitcoin to be worth millions, dramatically increasing the market capitalization of U.S. stocks and making everyone wealthy. Schiff extended his satirical narrative by addressing his own investments, particularly in U.S. oil stocks. He implied that if these companies followed suit and converted their assets to BTC, their stock values would skyrocket, enriching investors like himself. Schiff versus Bitcoin. This rhetoric takes aim at the optimistic predictions of Bitcoin proponents, often referred to as maximalists. These enthusiasts argue that Bitcoin is destined for unlimited growth, positioning. I don't hear many people saying that. I know a lot of people believe in Bitcoin. There are a lot of rational people. This is clearly an effort to make Bitcoin maximalist and Bitcoin enthusiasts, which a lot of them are not maximalists. They're well diversified, but to make them look silly. And it's not going to work. You see, this is aimed at retail, of course, and to keep that energy amongst the people to stay away from Bitcoin a little bit longer, the regular people who haven't gotten into Bitcoin yet. While the major companies like BlackRock, ARK Invest, etc., collect major amounts of Bitcoin. It's all a game. It's all a chessboard to them. Folks know that 100% everything is a chess move. It's all planned out. This is how they like to operate. He's not saying that about BlackRock, is he? He's not saying that about ARK Invest, is he? He's not saying that about Valkyrie, is he? Is he saying that about Van Eck? No, but he's saying that about the regular people. For every effect, there is a cause. You always have to ask the why. Simple as that. So, I try to stay balanced because I don't fear the enemy. I want to know what the enemy is doing. I want to know what they're saying. I want to have all of the information, and then I can make decisions much better. Yeah. All right. So now let's move on here. We have is this another? Oh, yeah, this was just a very interesting article. Very strange, but it's a Bitcoin article. This article is titled U.S. Major Predicts Bitcoin Recognition as a Weapon System as Catalyst for $100 million price target. Wait now, let me scroll down. let me enlarge this just a bit. Bear with me one moment, please. I would greatly appreciate that. And once again, if you haven't clicked the like button, please do. If not, that algorithm is brutal. And if that like button is not clicked, it will not boost the video. But anyway, I would appreciate it if you did. U.S. Space Force Major Jason Lowry has made a bold assertion regarding Bitcoin, describing it as a potential weapon system and emphasizing its strategic importance for national security. You know why I say that? And I see a lot of people take umbrage to content creators when they ask about clicking the like button, not understanding that YouTube itself, emphasizes how important and integral that is to the algorithm. Let's say people enjoy the videos, right? They watch it and they're like, that was a good video. That's good information. But they don't click the like button. Not clicking that like button, it literally just deads the video in the water. So that content creator now, that channel is actively dying if it's not, the videos are not being shown to other people, because the algorithm will say they watched it, yes, but they didn't click the like button, which means they didn't like it. So now they're not going to show it to more people. So then that channel stops growing. So this is why a lot of content creators, every video, they're like, click the like button. I don't do it very often. I'm just doing it now. But that's why every video, some people are like, click the like button, subscribe, click the notification bell. YouTube literally tells you to say that. Literally tells you to do that, Just a little tidbit, because I know a lot of people have told me from the members only section as well as regular subscribers that they would like to start channels. So I'm just dropping little information that I have. Hopefully it'll be different for you. It says here, Lowry, who is also a National Defense Fellow at MIT, has been vocal about the need for the U.S. military to prioritize the investigation and integration of proof-of-work systems like Bitcoin. He argues that Bitcoin's proof-of-work consensus mechanism could serve as a significant deterrent against cyber attacks, likening it to traditional military assets that deter physical attacks. In a now deleted X post, and we have a pop-up at the wrong time. In a now deleted X post, Lowry suggested that the once public overcomes the fear of government bans on Bitcoin and recognizes it as a defense system. The implications for national security will become clear. He speculated that this realization could drive the value of Bitcoin to $100 million per coin. Is he serious about that? That is the most mind-blowing prediction I've ever heard. So I'm just going to stop right there. Wow. Yeah. All right. Let's move on and hope that Bitcoin with military implications. My word. All right. So now let's move on here. This next article here is a real estate. This is the real estate news. So this article is titled Commercial, and another pop-up, Banker Newsletter. Commercial real estate loans, a ticking time bomb for U.S. banks. So commercial real estate. My apologies. I thought it was going to be regular. The global commercial real estate sector is now under severe pressure as interest rates remain elevated across much of the world. This is no more apparent or systemically important than in the United States, home of the world's biggest commercial property market. And with the massive wave of property debt maturing over the next 3 years, speculation is mounting that the U.S. banking sector could succumb to another major crisis should CRE loan default rates climb to unmanageable levels. Now, keep in mind, this is coming from internationalbanker.com. Serious business. And yet, I feel that there's so many people not taking this serious. They're not checking to see their bank's exposure to commercial real estate, when many people deal with small to medium-sized banks, but even some of the larger banks are definitely at risk, especially from contagion, right? But this is coming. It says at about 1/4 of the average lender's assets and a whopping $2.7 trillion of aggregate bank assets, CRE loans represent a substantial share of the total U.S. banking system in 2024. And with many of those loans issued at rock bottom rates during the low interest environment of the previous decade, borrowers' ordeal of repaying their CRE loans at today's sharply higher rates is placing immense strain on American lenders as they seek to avoid selling loans at significantly discounted prices. To compound matters for CRE lenders, moreover, factors such as the slowing economy and strong post-redacted preference for remote and hybrid working arrangements have not only further contributed to the sharply rising distress within the U.S. CRE market, but have also proven considerably bearish for U.S. commercial property prices. According to Green Street's Commercial Property Price Index, CPPI, which captures the prices at which U.S. institutional quality CRE transactions are currently being negotiated and contracted, commercial property prices fell by 7% over the past year and by 21% since their March 2022 peak. Wow. All right, we'll try to keep up with it, folks. So now let's move on here. Now, this article here is titled, let's let it pop up here. Freddie Mac proposes buying home equity loans. All right, so let's find out what's going on here. Government-backed mortgage securitizer Freddie Mac is considering whether to broaden out its portfolio from first-time mortgages to become a purchaser of home equity loans. Another pop-up for some business website. Mortgages to become a purchaser of home equity loans, a move that could offer borrowers more favorable terms than those of private credit markets. Public comments closed less than a week ago on the proposal, which is getting praise from low-income housing advocates and disapproval from bankers and Republicans. It says the new rule, which would provide borrowers a cheaper loan option than cash out refinancing, is specifically responsive to the higher interest rate financing environment that is putting the squeeze on the housing sector. Interbank interest rates currently sit at an effective 5.33%, their highest level since 2001. Quote, in the current mortgage interest rate environment, a closed-end second mortgage may provide a more affordable option to homeowners than obtaining a new cash out refinance or leveraging other consumer debt products, unquote, the Federal Housing Finance Agency wrote in its proposal. FHFA is the federal agency in charge of overseeing Freddie Mac, formerly known as the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation and Federal National Mortgage Association, also known as Fannie Mae. Fannie and Freddie each buy mortgages and package them into mortgage-backed securities, which are purchased by investors that we know. We know all of that type of stuff there. I'm preaching to the choir once I'm reading stuff like that. In a scenario comparing the new home equity loan proposal to a cash-out refinancing option, borrowers could save $136.77 in monthly payments as a result of the new product, FHFA said. All right, so now let's move on here. 2 more articles left. We got all the articles done today. Oh, here we go. Little treasury news. Yep, got to keep up with those treasuries. So now, this article is titled Long-Dated Treasury Yields Rise Further Above Almost 4-Week Highs on Bond Negative Developments. And it begins as such. Yields on the longest dated U.S. government debt rose Wednesday morning, putting pressure on stocks as concerns grew that the Federal Reserve may have to keep interest rates high for longer. We discussed that. Following Tuesday's 2 poorly received note auctions, what's happening? The yield on 2-year Treasury slipped 2 basis points to 4.95% from 4.97% on Tuesday. The yield on 10-year Treasury rose 5 basis points to 4.59% from 4.54% on Tuesday. The yield on 30-year Treasury jumped 6.3 basis points to 4.71% from 4.65% on Tuesday. Tuesday's levels were the highest for the 10 and 30-year rates since May the 2nd and the 3rd. Long-term Treasury yields traded around roughly 4-week peaks Wednesday morning as the Treasury began its first buyback operation in more than 20 years. The buyback program is aimed at making the market more liquid and resilient. It says the U.S. Treasury is about to take a step designed to make the bond market more resilient on Wednesday. So that was what was happening before. On Tuesday, Minneapolis Federal Reserve Bank President Neel Kashkari told CNBC that further interest rate hikes can't be ruled out. Let me say that again. Further interest rate hikes can't be ruled out. Remember I talked about the possibility of that, another interest rate hike? That was about maybe about a month ago. And there's no guarantees, but the way things are going, they definitely, I just don't see them being able to make a cut. I just don't. Unless, like I said, and I've read a lot of comments that people were saying the same, similar, a lot of our subscribers and members, that it would be for purely political reasons. If they did do that, I just can't see them doing that. It would be just disastrous, in my humble opinion. But then there's the opposite way, that there could be a hike, depending on how things continue. It says, while rate cuts are not likely to come before, quote, many more months of benign inflation data. In addition, U.S. Treasury auctions of 2-year and 5-year notes totaling almost $140 billion were not very well received by the market on Tuesday, putting upward pressure on yields. All right, so now let's end off here. What do we have here? What is our last article today? Oh, that's right. This was an interesting article, and I hope everybody out there is doing okay. I really do. This article is titled Realtors Running Out of Money as Housing Market Struggles. All right, so let's scroll down and find out what's going on. It says here, a struggling housing market characterized by elevated prices and high borrowing costs for home loans has depressed demand for homes. The demand has contributed to a fall in the number of real estate agents working in the industry. There are tens of thousands fewer real estate agents real estate brokers and sales agents, according to data from the Federal Reserve Economic Data. It says in 2023, there were 440,000 people working in America working as real estate agents. This was down from a time before the redacted, when in 2019, there were 549,000. My apologies, I have to click off an ad over here. The fall in real estate agents comes at a time when mortgage rates are at historic highs. Last year, borrowing costs for a mortgage hit 2-decade highs. Meanwhile, prices for homes are at record levels. These twin forces are dissuading buyers from getting into home ownership. A slowing housing market means business has slowed, forcing realtors to rethink their place in the sector and even struggling to make a living. A Florida-based real estate agent, April Strickland, told the Washington Post that there are more realtors working in her Gainesville market than homes being sold. Wow. Quote, quite frankly, realtors are running out of money, unquote, Strickland was quoted as saying. Saad Munir, a Boston-based vice president at Torrey Homes, told Newsweek it's hard to do business these days in the real estate market. Quote, I'm sure there are plenty of agents leaving, unquote, he said. Quote, a lot of agents are struggling right now, unquote. Buyers pausing their plans to purchase homes is hurting buyers' agents. Meanwhile, sellers waiting to put their homes on the market are reluctant to re-enter a housing market with rates elevated, which has also led to fewer listings and damaged business for sellers' agents. Quote, the market is tough right now for buyers, meaning many buyers, agents are struggling to keep business consistent, unquote, Munir said. Quote, and there aren't that many listings either, which means it's tough to be a productive and consistent seller's agent, unquote. Wait a minute. I want to say this. I hope they revisit the data in about a month or two. I'm going to tell you why. I've been seeing around where I live a lot of houses for sale. And let me tell you something. How can I phrase it? I never would have thought that a lot of these people would be selling their homes. I wouldn't. I didn't think that. These are very costly places. And so I think maybe things are changing. People are looking for places that are quieter. Now, keep in mind, the impact is, I believe, now being felt of city people in mass moving to suburban places. So it has changed the dynamics and the environment. I'll tell you. So it's not as quiet. Traffic's a little heavier. So what people who have been in these homes for a long time were used to, that has gone away. So now I think they're moving from certain areas to like the southern areas of the United States to find places that are more remote, isolated, less population, less traffic. This is why I'm hearing these complaints all the time, right? I'm hearing them all the time. I think that's what's happening. And so they're willing to take the risk. They're willing to do what they weren't going to do before. So I'm wondering if that's just what I'm seeing, because I'm telling you now, if things hadn't changed in a lot of these upper neighborhoods, I don't think that people would be selling. But I think that's one of the reasons why. I'm trying to say a lot with saying a little, but I think maybe that might change things in the future. Maybe not for every area. I know here they're talking about in Florida here, but we shall see. We'll see. So someone has to sell these homes. Someone's going to make some money off these homes out here. There's going to be big money too. I'm telling you right now. So anyway, now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.